I think we're live. Hopefully it's live. I don't know where it's live. We're live. Okay, yeah, we're live. We're live on X. We are trying to go live on YouTube. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Hello. I think we're live here. We're live on YouTube. That's amazing. Are we live on Facebook? Oh, I got a little, hold on.
For everybody that's tuning in and watching this on one of the platforms, so tonight is our first night that we're doing this meeting on StreamtX. So this is really neat. You know, we're using the tools that have been created for our honest money ecosystem. So this is the first call, so we're kind of working out the bugs right now as we speak.
All right, I'm almost there. Here we go. Content. Facebook's the last one. How do I do Facebook? Live. There it is.
Well, while he's doing that, guys, we have an exciting call tonight to share with you one of the utility verticals that we've been working on.
All right, my thought is we're live, man. My thought is we're live everywhere.
Okay.
I think we're live. I think we did it. I think we did it. I think we got it. This is very exciting. So it should be recording. It should be recording everywhere. Sorry, guys. It's a big moment for me. It's a very big and exciting moment. We've got tangible, identifiable, monetizable benefits to the work that we're doing. And look, we've been working on this project for a couple of years now. You'd think sooner or later we'd have something to brag about. That moment is right now. So welcome to my favorite day of the week, my favorite hour of the day. It is 7 o'clock in Texas. It's 8 a.m. out here in Singapore. I'm joined tonight by my man, Tim Blake. Tim, thank you so much. You've been all over the country these last couple of weeks, sharing our story, rallying the troops, looking people in the eye, letting them know that we're still here. We're still fighting for monetary freedom. And it's a noble cause, and it's a thankless job sometimes. Tonight, you're going to see the fruits of our labor, and I'm very excited to share it with you. But it is a new thing for us, and of course, there's going to be a bug or two here or there. Hopefully, we can get some sort of confirmation from the community somewhere that we're actually really streaming somewhere.
She says it's on and doing great. So perfect.
It's on and doing great. Okay. Mel, if you could check Facebook. There are a couple links across the TexitCoin website. And if you could take a look at those links real quick to see if all of them are working. If that's the case, then this story is being shared further and wider than we've ever shared our story before. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it out loud, but we had a conversation earlier this week where I mentioned that if it wasn't for everything that has happened in the last 5 months, exactly the way that it has happened, I don't know if we would make it, at least not in the fashion and form that we originally imagined and have been working on. What does that mean? Does it mean that the whole plan was failed from the beginning? No, what it means is that you set out on a path, you have a plan. Some things go your way, some things don't go your way. You make adjustments to course correct. And, what you're always battling is the market. You're battling time, you're battling, your budget, you're battling all these things as you go down that path. And, some things catapult you forward and some things hold you up. And the thing that has been holding us up for a very long time is tech. And that makes a lot of sense because this is a tech project. This is a technical thing that's confusing. There are very few people on planet Earth that actually understand blockchain technology deeply enough to program it, to create, the tools and utilities that we need for it to work and for us to accomplish our major goals. And so it's not easy. It's tech and it's not easy. And, if it wasn't for the TSSB thing kind of, shaking us to our core, and the developers doing what they did, and the core development team, that is, and the discovery of some really powerful tools in the realm of AI. Say what you want about AI. I'm a pretty big fan. But if it wasn't for all that stuff, I don't think we would make it. Last week on our call, we discussed our war chest. We've got a budget. I'd like to pat myself on the back a little bit and say I think we did a pretty good job with money management and with, putting together a rainy day fund. Well, it rained, and we're getting through it with the best attorneys in the world. We're dealing with it head on. We're aggressively not defending our position, but we're playing offense in these matters. And not only that, but we've got money to continue covering our expenses, meeting our obligations, and then we've got money to move this thing forward. But that is not an unlimited amount of money. And so we've got to stretch it as far as it'll go. And as we got into all these powerful tools, we realized that we can get so much further, so much faster with what we've got going for us. Let me turn off. I'm new to this layout here. So let me try to go to that screen. There we go. We can go so far, so fast with this stuff. But I fear that if it wasn't for everything happening exactly the way that it did, we wouldn't make it to the goal that we set out to hit. And, look, nobody ever wants to admit that. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have come up with a different plan to get through these challenging times, but we're there, and we're not so beat up and broken and battered. We still have smiles on our faces. We're still breathing fresh air. And we have so much more going for us today than we did 5 months ago. And we're going to get into that today. So Tim, thanks for joining. Anything else to add? I feel like I go into these monologues and I forget that I've got great guests here.
Yeah.
So I mean, to add on while I find some more coffee.
Yeah, it's super doing these events where we've been getting the community together and just sharing them the up we've been working on, because most people, they're not on our 7:15 everyday calls that we do with you. They're not on the several other calls throughout the day with you that we're doing. And so they have no idea. So when we've been and sharing this with people, it's really eye opener for everybody. Everybody has hope. Everybody wants this project to succeed. And now it's been a blessing in disguise, because we've been able to put together all of the pieces that we needed to, that we didn't get to last year, because it was like we were drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, it was exciting times, man. Every day, some new crazy thing was happening, going right or going very wrong. And it was just overwhelmingly consuming, all day, every day, go, 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 go. And, that's okay once you've built your team. If the team knows exactly what they need to do and how to, but we were hiring like 3 new people a week last year, just trying to keep up with customer service and shipping and fulfillment and, everything. So it was wild. And to get through it alive with resources and, still be here today, having the same conversation, telling the same story is really incredible as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. The work that's been done in the last little bit, the tech that is developed. Last call, I just got back from there for Chris Beck and Andrea Beck, and I started to go through the update on some of the wins and some of the things that you've been able to accomplish while you've been overseas. And when we got to the utility portion, and I started sharing with them about Nectar Pay, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, everybody was so excited. It almost turned into a whole Nectar Pay meeting. Everybody super excited about it. How can we help? How can we do this? This is amazing. And yeah, it's just really exciting times. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen over the next couple months because we're getting into phase 2, which is the utility portion, the substance of what our project was
Yeah.
designed to do.
And I'm glad that there was good reception to it at that meeting because, when we're going to talk more about this, probably towards the end of the call, but the first question in everyone's mind is like, well, what does this have to do with TexitCoin? Is this an Iskander thing? Is this a zero chill thing? Is this a TexitCoin thing? Or is this something totally different and unrelated in any way whatsoever? Well, first of all, the answer to that question is absolutely not. These things are completely tied together, as you'll learn in just the next few minutes. But what they do is they build out our kind of street cred. From day one, you got to remember that we said, look, we're going to build this project and the cryptocurrency industry is going to resist us. I'll never forget having a conversation with my friend John that I knew real well, back in my early Ron Paul days. And I thought he'd be like a huge friend, like wow, the honest money guy, the guy that knows how to get community currencies and silver barter going. He's getting into crypto. He sees it finally. And I was one of the last. I was holding out. I'm a never crypto guy. And finally, I called John. I go, John, I'm getting out of gold and silver. I'm getting into crypto. We've got powerful tools now that can take our mission of honest money and actually get it happening far and wide on a grand scale that was never accessible or possible to us on the gold and silver horse and buggy. And you've heard me say that 1,000 times. And I had that conversation with him. And his immediate response before I heard click was, the world doesn't need another crypto, bro. And I was like, he's not wrong. We have 1,000 new crypto coins cooked up every day. The last thing we really need is like one more crypto project to like create more noise and confusion. I mean, I'll never forget when I started getting into this stuff in like 2015, 2016, I really started actually paying attention. And I checked out almost right away because Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash were about to break up. I don't remember the exact year for this. It was probably, I don't know. But I was like, what is a fork? What is Bitcoin Cash? I don't get it. And that's what happens with most people. They go, this is way too confusing. There's way too many coins out there. We don't need another coin. And so I said, no. We do need another coin. We need a blank slate. We need to take everything that we've learned from the crypto industry and we need to start over. Okay, fine. Makes sense. But how are we going to get the cryptocurrency industry, the Bitcoin maxis, to pay attention to us and to like cheer for us? If their first response is, there shall be no coin but Bitcoin, and then their second response is, okay, maybe there are some worthwhile altcoins, but we certainly don't need any more altcoins, how are we going to win them over? And that's the answer to the question about what does this have to do with TexitCoin. So we'll get there in a few minutes. And I know that was kind of a lot of build up to a weird abstract answer. We'll come back to it. I assure you we'll come back to it. The coffee is just beginning to kick in. We're live across multiple platforms. We're saying hello today to a whole new community. If you're new out there, thanks for joining us, guys. Look, I'm Bobby. This is Tim. We are hard at work in establishing a real alternative to the dollar, a real alternative to kind of the state of the crypto industry today, where it's been distracted by many DeFi and TradFi shiny things. We're picking up back where the Bitcoin community left off, 2012, 2013, 2017. You pick the year where you think that crypto kind of lost its way. It stopped being about digital, decentralized peer-to-peer currency, and it became something that was more about the bankers. We don't like that. We would like to see us finish the job that Satoshi started, where people have a real working, scalable alternative to Visa, MasterCard, and the dollar. And that's what TexitCoin is. It's based in Texas. It's mined by individuals, not by megacorps. That's a really important thing because it means that if you think what we're doing is right and it's good and it's going to win, then your ability to have a piece of the upside is right there, completely protected. This will never be a project that is overtaken by the banks and the overlords because you can only buy so much mining hash power. You want more mining hash power? You got to earn it, which means you got to get on a call like this and waste your Tuesday night or your Thursday night or your Saturday morning sharing the story of blockchain and crypto with people. Why? Because this is a community-driven project, and we want the biggest holders of TexitCoin and TexitCoin mining to be the people that have done the most to help us grow and reach these goals. And so that's what we're doing. If you've caught us on X or Facebook or YouTube or whatever these other things are called, thanks for joining. And it's a big moment for us. It's a strange time to be saying hello and greeting you for the first time because there's so much that you've missed in the last 118 weeks of doing these calls. Everything's archived on the texitcoin.org/Zoom page if you want to go back and see some of our old stuff and where we started and how embarrassing we were back then. But thanks for joining, and we're going to get into kind of our normal format for this call. I'm going to run through a couple things real quick, Tim. Don't mind me as I go through some updates. That's normally how we start the call, and then we get into kind of the point. And so the first thing I want to talk about is StreamtXC. Now, I kicked this off a couple months ago so that we would have a place to go and archive the videos that we're creating. And anybody can use it. It's not built just for us. But the thing that makes this really great and unique is that it gives us kind of this blockchain verifiable proof. We get these timestamps, we get these chain stamps, we get, kind of this immutable proof of, having posted this video. It doesn't guarantee that we actually own it, but it does give us the ability to point to a record on chain somewhere that shows that we uploaded it at a particular time. And so you can grab this CID, this content identifier. It's an IPFS content identifier, and you can use it anywhere. So we're posting this video, this original asset, to the permanent decentralized web, and then you can take it and you can embed it anywhere you like. So this is a really simple tool that I built so that we had a place where we could share our own creations that weren't, something that somebody else could gatekeep. Nothing's more frustrating than publishing all your content to a social media channel and then having it all taken down. I mean, we've got 2 years of content on Instagram that's now gone thanks to the overlords deciding that we no longer deserve to have an Instagram account. Anyway, the point is that I set up a live streaming service. Now, this uses Amazon's AWS streaming protocol. And so it's industry leading. I mean, it's top of the line. It's built. It's available for you to use. It's there right now. And this is what we're using at this very moment to stream this. So this is a big improvement this week. And I run through our other accomplishments. I finished up the Blockchain Mint website so that we can begin not just selling our cold storage coins again, but also selling the other thing that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, where we make that available. I finished up the WTXC swap bridge. I understand that it's got a bug that I'm working on. As you remember, if you remember, we created wrapped TXC that is able to float around on the Ethereum chain. So if you want to store TexitCoin on a Ledger device or use it in a MetaMask wallet, we created a wrapped version. We're going to have more content coming soon to this page to give you the particulars on that. But if you want to know more about WTXC, you can learn about them on the TexitCoin page. And this gives you an option to find it on Uniswap as well, and also gives you the contract address and the custody wallet that backs up what circulates on WTXC. The biggest accomplishment this week is that I started messing around with the app and the Play stores. And this is a really big thing because, we've got all these great things now that we can easily publish to the web, but wrapping those in some sort of container that lets us use them on the app store, the traditional, store that people go to on their phones to download useful utilities. Like, we didn't figure that out yet. Okay, that's done now. Good news and bad news. The good news is that we figured it out and we're able to do it. The bad news is that I'm having a hard time getting the new versions of the app to perfectly import data from the old versions of the app. So we've got version 5.0.3 of the Blockchain Mint app, and it's really great. It looks like this. If you go to it on app.blockchainmint.com, you can see that we've got a complete rebuild, faster, prettier, and ready for your collecting, and everything works. Add value, redeem value, rename, scan new coins. The whole thing works properly. The problem is that it doesn't import your old list of coins. So I've pulled it from the release in the iOS store, pending a fix that makes it so that when you log into your Blockchain Mint app and it updates the app to the latest version, it doesn't lose your list of coins. Now, remember, if you lose your list of coins, it's not the end of the world, because that should all be backed up somewhere. And you can always re-add them later, but it's an annoyance. And if I can avoid it, I'd like to. So I'll battle with that for another day or two. If I can't figure it out, I'll throw in the towel and I will publish it, and I will ask you and send an email out and say, hey, please write down your coin IDs or have them on standby so that you can rescan the public key and add them in case it does wipe your coin list. The last thing that is in development right now for the iOS stores today is the HME wallet. And we've got a lot of wallets coming together right now. We've got real simple wallets that just work on single chains. We got wallets that work on multiple chains. This one's my favorite, and this is the one that's getting packed up to distribute through the App Store. And I don't know if it works here, but this is the one that I'm going to be using because it's got, I don't know if I can click these buttons because I'm not on a mobile device. It's got EVM, TXC, and ISK built into it right out of the box, which is really great. It gives us, access to not just our chain, but other powerful chains as well. And it's very easy to use. It's very simple. It's a simplified wallet experience, and that's the one that I'm going to publish to the App Store first. And again, I'm going to ask you to, just make sure you've got everything backed up before you start updating these apps. I am not going to publish the HME wallet on top of the TXE wallet. The Honest Money ecosystem wallet is going to live in its own container in the App Store and the Play Store. That way, there's no risk whatsoever of it overwriting your existing wallet. I know there's a lot of people out there that didn't write down their 12 words when they set up the TXE wallet. And so you guys really need to be careful when you're messing around with those apps. So instead of overwriting that app and running the risk of losing a lot of people's wallets, I'm going to have you set up a new wallet in the HME wallet app. And then that way, when you're ready to use the new wallet, you can move things over. The user experience is going to be very similar. It's hard for me to show you right there, but it's a very similar user experience in the HME wallet. If you go to mobile.honest.money, you can see it right now. And you'll see that, like I said, the user experience is quite similar to what you're familiar with already. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. See if I can give you a quick demo. It is resisting. There we go. So there it is on the phone, and you can easily swipe between different wallets. It supports TXC, ETH, Base, BSC, ISK. It allows you to import and have watch-only addresses if you want to use this instead of the Blockchain Mint app. But it's good. It's simple. It looks, like I said, like the old app. You can use it light and dark. And it's also made to work very perfectly and seamlessly with Nectar Pay. And we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
So real quick, so you said you could have on that one app, you could have watch-only wallets. So they could have, they could literally be in one spot and look at TexitCoin or Iskander Holdings, whatever it is, just from the one, instead of having to log into two different
Yeah, and obviously that's all from this awesome tech that we're finally understanding and engaging. But have you discovered the magic yet of the 24-word seed phrase?
Yes.
This is a magical thing. Your 24 words are very flexible. You can use your 24 words here. You can use them there. So, when we made cold storage coins for years and years and years, we always put the WIF on there. I don't know what WIF stands for. Maybe it's 100 TXC bonus to the person that actually tells me what WIF stands for. I don't know how you can communicate that with me. I'm seeing some comments on the side. Do you have this on the side of your window as well?
I don't have any. Oh, comments. Let's see here. Okay.
I just added them to the screen. Pretty cool. If you guys want to troll us, it'll show up in the live feed. I can turn that off too, trolls. Take that. So we use the WIF. And the WIF is specifically lined up to a single public key. So you got the private key and you got the public key. So we laser etch the private key in the WIF format, and then it gives you a single public key from that WIF. Now, if you use a seed phrase, the 24-word magic seed phrase, you get an unlimited number of public keys. So not only does it give you an unlimited number for these UTXO chains like Bitcoin and Litecoin and TexitCoin, but it also gives you the ability to do something similar to that with Ethereum, but it gives you access to all those different wallets. That's why if you're using something like a ledger, if you're using something like a ledger device, you put 24 words in there and it gives you all of these different wallets. Oh, you've got Ethereum on here, you've got Litecoin on here, you got Bitcoin on here. It's extremely powerful and extremely flexible. So we've just learned this, and I'm sure our friends from across the crypto industry are laughing at me and saying, duh, dude, that's like blockchain 101. Well, I missed that chapter. But we're learning this, and we're now building that into these tools as well. So the new cold storage coins will have a 24-word seed on there, which will give you the ability to do all kinds of really great, powerful stuff, not just have one single address. But if you link that to your mobile wallet that will distribute through the App Store and the Play Store, and you link it to a 24-word seed, and we're starting very soon to make those cold storage wallets in that format. If you do that, you've got a multi-chain powerful wallet that's extremely easy to use and clean of all the stuff that we dealt with in the old days with strange development teams contributing to projects. So very exciting stuff, very powerful stuff.
Yeah, I love it. I love being able to just have one set of words instead of multiple sets of words that I have to keep track of. And it's on a coin. So if you lose your words, you can just rescan your coin and you never lose anything.
You got the live backup. So here's another fun thing that you can do with words. I set up a new page here called words.honest.money. And this will give you some words. If you need words, if you have run out of words, you can go to words.honest.money and you can get new words. And please don't lose your words. Don't forget your words. But if you need words, hop on over to words.honest.money and it'll build you a 24 12-word seed phrase. I don't really know what the difference is between the two in terms of practicality, usability. I think they're very similar, but the 24-word version is better encryption. So here you can actually get it to suggest a sentence for you, or you can suggest a phrase that puts the words together in some sort of magical format that might be more memorable. Maybe not a good idea. But you can also choose your own word. If you want the word snake in the middle of your words, you can add and change your word to snake. Anyway, we're going to come back to this in a few minutes and show you why it's so important to have good words and to record your good words and to write them down. All right. So is there anything else that we need to cover here on our warm-up introductory part before we get into my favorite thing?
I don't think so. I think we're
No? All right. Well, let's get into my favorite thing. So let's talk for a little while about the background of this project. And I know we covered it on a previous call. I know we've talked about it a lot, and we're going to talk about it a lot more. But I want to talk about it again tonight so that everyone understands how we got to where we are right now. And what we're talking about, of course, is building these tools, searching for meaning, purpose, ultimately utility, and looking at this picture of ours. You know, when we started this thing, January 26, 2024, and the first block was mined, I didn't know anything about immersion cooling. I had a bunch of L3s a few months later on a rack in my garage thinking that this was going to be the way we were going to change the cryptocurrency industry forever. And boy, was I wrong. But we start to paint this picture and we learn a little bit more about this and a little bit more about that. And the pieces start to come together and we get more clarity and we get more focus and we get a better understanding of how this picture is coming together. I don't know if we're talking about a painting or a puzzle, but choose your own analogy. That's what we're doing. We're putting together this thing and we're learning as we go. And it's been mostly a good experience. We've had some setbacks, we've had some hacks along the way, but we're learning. And through that learning experience, you know, like we talked about at the beginning of the call, we're discovering purpose, utility, usefulness, and things that we can build that are going to improve not just the likelihood of our success, but the likelihood of crypto and blockchain success. And that's a really important thing because if we want this thing to work, it's got to be adoptable by the mass market. If we create it in our community of 50,000 or 100,000 or 1 million people use it, that's great. That's good for us. But if we create things that everyone on earth can use and benefit from, that's the real win. And the real win is because honest money benefits everybody. Everybody can win with honest money. When the playing field is level, there's not one guy anymore that's got access to the money printer, giving it out to his besties whenever he wants, so that we all have to wait for some of it to trickle down to us through low mortgage interest rates or through government spending or through Fed bailouts of bonds of Fortune 500 companies. When the playing field is level and we all will get out of this, you know, out of life, whatever it is that we put in, some more than others, you know, there's always going to be a bit of a imbalance and you know, unfortunate unfairness to basic, you know, laissez-faire capitalism. But if you take the money printer out of the equation, then we're all at least on a level playing field. Some of us will do better than others, and that'll be frustrating. But if we fix the money, everybody wins. Well, we need to build tools so that everyone can benefit from the work that we do with fixing the money. And so, you know, we started working a while ago on Downtown Digital and on Fair Money. And so if you remember those projects, we were looking at creating alternative currency systems in places that would be more likely to easily adopt. Let me pull these up on my screen real quick. I think we'll go with that view. So Downtown Digital and Fair Money were the initial manifestations of this concept of, okay, well, how do we get people actually using an alternative currency? I mean, everyone's talking about alternative currency. How do we get people to actually use an alternative currency? Well, when people go to fairs and festivals, they're extremely comfortable using an alternative currency. You walk in, you got to go over to the booth and get your tickets, change out your dollars, and then you're spending your tickets or your tokens for rides and for cotton candy and turkey legs and, and beers. So everyone's comfortable inside of a limited access event using an alternative currency. Nobody questions it. You know, it's frustrating. Sometimes you got to go wait in 2 lines. If we could simplify that through some good tech, everyone's comfortable doing it. Great. Okay. So we started there. That's the thing that I used back 10, 15 years ago with AOCS to get my copper and silver tokens working. So I have a playbook. I've got, you know, kind of an understanding of how to get this done. And we started there and we hit a brick wall. And there was two parts to the brick wall. The first part was tech. And we scoured the earth, man, trying to find the tech that actually allowed us to make it easy for people to go to a festival, add value on their phone, tap their phone or tap a card to pay for that turkey leg. And so we didn't have the tech. Well, that's out of the way now. We'll get back to that. But the other problem was the MSB, the money service business license. And that's a real problem because anytime you're holding somebody else's money, you have to have a money service business license in 49 out of 50 states in the US. Every state except for Montana, if you're holding on to some other merchant's money for even a millisecond, you got to have a money service business license. And so we said, all right, well, that sucks. Now, in the old days, we would have been like, YOLO, let's do it anyway. And we'll get a slap on the wrist and we'll get the money service business license and it'll be fine. Well, then all of a sudden we're in the spotlight and we go, everyone's watching. There's no way we're going to be able to like do this event in McKinney in June without a money service business license. They're going to be standing there at the gate waiting for us to show up. License? We go, well, we don't have one yet, but we're working on it. Nice try. Take a hike. So the money service business license was a brick wall. Now we are working on it. And that's not necessarily because we want to be a custodian of people's money, but it's because we want to make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's as we begin to cross over to more of these mainstream financial service type duties. I don't think the other guys that are doing this in our industry have an MSB. That doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean that we should use that as an example. But the point is that if we start to go big and we're engaging towns and municipalities, somebody somewhere is going to say, do you guys have an MSB? And we're going to go, well, we're libertarians with a little L and we just kind of do it our way. Well, that's not going to work in our town. Unfortunately, our town dots the I's and crosses the T's, and we have to do it by the book. And if you don't have an MSB, take a hike. So we want this to be something that can be engaged by anyone and everyone. And so we're going to have to play by the book. We're going to have to do some things that, are completely above board, fully registered, fully compliant, fully aware of what the rules are. And that decreases the risk for our stakeholders. If we go into some town and we go, no MSB, no rules, we mess it up, they get egg on their face, we get sued, and it's a real mess. And so, some of these regulations from time to time are actually there and they serve maybe a reasonably good purpose. I don't know. But MSB is one of those things that we hit and we said, crap. Okay. Back burner that one, keep going on the other stuff. And so, so those are the two things that were really slowing us down in rolling out the Downtown Digital program and the Fair Money program. And these are huge opportunities. They haven't changed in any way whatsoever. Once we discovered that we had these roadblocks, we started, working on a kind of another plan that I don't think we've talked about here. And we're not going to talk about here because I get yelled at when I talk about it in public. Lips are sealed. So we have another plan, and that plan is underway and it's doing just fine. But Tim, you reached out to me the other day when I said, okay, I built the payment gateway that we need to run our online store. So we haven't had an online store in like 4 years because we ran our online store in Shopify, and Shopify has its own built-in credit card processing. They canceled that for us because we're selling copper coins. And then we tried to link it in with BitPay. I think it was BitPay. Don't quote me on BitPay, but I think we tried to link it in with BitPay, who canceled our account because we're selling copper coins. And we said, all right, so now we have a store that has no payment processing. We can, accept cash. If you want to mail us an envelope, this is a real problem. And so we want to have an online store. We wanted to have the ability to accept crypto. And now all of a sudden the tools fall into our lap to build our own crypto payment gateway. And so I put together this thing that I call Nectar Pay. And I love the name. I don't know where the name came from. I don't know why Nectar Pay made so much sense. But Nectar Pay is a no key, no fee crypto payment gateway. And now, if you're crypto savvy, you know what no keys and no fees means. If you're not crypto savvy, the no keys thing might be a little bit confusing. Focus instead on the no fees and how nothing could be sweeter than keeping all of your money. And so I put this together so that we could launch the Blockchain Mint store. And the Blockchain Mint store is now live, and you can go there right now. You can add a product to cart. You can shop for it. You can look at it in your cart. You can proceed to checkout, fill out some of these names and stuff, confirm and continue. Here's an email address, bobby@blockchainmint.com. There's my address, 75070. I don't know why I don't like that one. What?
If the people want to do this, they have to update the Blockchain Mint app. That's what's going to give them access to this.
No, this is live on the web. This is just live on the website. So then you click Pay with Crypto. And after a couple of moments, it redirects you to the payment gateway, or at least is supposed to redirect you to the payment gateway. There you go. There's the Nectar Pay invoice. We say we're going to pay USDC on Ethereum. We click that. It generates a QR code for us. We pay to this. Now you can either turn on the address only version, or you can have it embed like your chain and your token in there if you want. But that's it. You pay this address and voila, the transaction completes and it's done. And Tim, you said to me, hey, is it possible to use those fancy, point of sale merchant terminals that you've got over there with this payment gateway and allow, brick and mortar businesses to use it as well? And I thought about it for a minute and I'm like, well, I don't see why not. Got to doing the coding stuff on the vibe coding. And sure enough, a day or two later, this is now linked in with Nectar Pay. And that was a big accomplishment because now it's a fully working product. But it's a bigger accomplishment because we said, whoa, there's a real product here. There's a real market here. And I don't think anybody else is doing this on a grand scale. I don't think anybody is really been successful at getting merchants on Main Street into crypto and accepting crypto at the cash register. Let's do some research and see if there's a market there for this. And so we started working on that question, and then my mind was blown as to how big of a market there is and how bad of a job everybody else is doing in this space. Is it okay to talk some trash on our friends? Here's BitPay's website. Now remember, BitPay is the #1 company in this space, and blockchain is revolutionizing how the world pays. Revolutionizing so much that in the last 30 days, a whopping 6,600 crypto transactions were processed by BitPay. Now, this is the BitPay website. We're live on their website. This is their stats page. They processed 68,000 over the last 6 months. 6,000 in the last month multiplied by 6 is 36,000. So clearly they're on a declining trend. But in the last 30 days, they processed 6,600 transactions. If you divide that by 30 days, that's 220 transactions globally per day. That's one transaction per country per day. If they were just in the US, it would be 4 or 5 transactions per state per day. Now, how many Visa transactions per day? Visa processes over 800 million per day. Multiply that out by 30 days and you get a number that my calculator will probably resist. But the point is that you can't say revolutionizing when you're doing 220 over 800 million. That's a percent so small that my calculator will probably error out. Let's try it. 220 divided by 800 million is not 1%, not a tenth of a percent, not a hundredth, not a thousandth, not a 10,000th, but 2 hundred thousands. Revolutionary. And so we looked at that and we said, okay, well, they clearly don't know what they're doing. Now, they've been doing it for 15 years. So you'd think in 15 years they would have discovered what the magic is, what's missing, what needs to get done. And what you can see very clearly as soon as you start going down this path of like what they're doing wrong, you can see how they're messing it all up. Go into their page, click on pricing, and they've got, this was 1% to 2% the other day. So they're charging 1% plus a 25 cents fixed fee. Higher fees applicable for high risk industries. What? Why would my fee be dependent on my industry? What are you doing, BitPay, that I can't do myself with crypto? I want crypto. I want people to pay me in crypto. I do it because it's instant. I do it because it doesn't cost me anything. I do it because I've got the money in hand. I do it because they can't charge it back. That's why I want crypto. What do I need you for? You're going to hold my money. You're going to charge me more if I'm a high-risk business. What kind of risk do you have in crypto? And you're going to gatekeep. My account was shut down at BitPay for selling copper coins, man. So this is what the competition, we'll call them now, is doing. And because of the way they do it, they can boast that they do 220 transactions a day. Why would anyone want to do it that way? It's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. And so, we looked at that. We looked at the tools. We looked at the tech. We said, we got it. What do we have? What we have now is we're on kind of let's call it like a 90-day trajectory here. Somebody's putting in the comments, okay, yeah, fine, but when's the price of TXC going up? So let's talk about our 90-day plan. There's a couple of things I won't tell you, but one of the things I will tell you is that we are planning on winning in Texas next month. It's only 6 weeks away at this point. 6 weeks from now, we will have an opportunity to go to Austin and share our story from the best experts in the world on this stuff about why TexitCoin, mining TexitCoin, blockchain mint, and Robert J. Bobby Gray are not a security. We understand how they were confused. We're a little sympathetic to like kind of what they are trying to accomplish with protecting investors in Texas, but they have it all wrong. And I'm not real sympathetic about them not changing the order now that they've discovered how wrong they are. Blockchain Mint manufactures copper cold storage coins. It's not a security. Can you take it off of the order because it has nothing to do with really what you guys are pissed about? No. Come on, man. Now you're just being a little out of line. You know that it's not a security. Take it off. No, we're not going to take it off unless somebody forces us to take it off. Okay, touche. How about a nice settlement agreement? How about we make nice? We've learned some stuff. You've learned some stuff. We've made some changes. How about this? No. See you in court. All right, it's on. So the first thing is to plan our win. The second thing is to roll this product out to market. And I believe, and I'll show you how and why in just the next few moments, I believe that we'll have the ability to do a month's worth of BitPay transactions in a single day. I think that we will do a month's processing in a day. Once we get, we've ordered 1,200 of these terminals. They're on the way. They're in production right now, getting them customized with our Nectar Pay logo. And I believe that once these things hit the ground, thanks to your help, and I'm pointing, Tim, at you, and I'm pointing at all of the people that are tuned in, I believe that we will be the biggest, #1 crypto processing gateway in the industry as soon as our products land. Pair that up with a win and pair that up with an exchange announcement. And I think that we will see ourselves catapulted through the work that our PR company is coordinating to page 1. Now, do we need to be at $16 to be on page 1? No, the industry is contracted by half.
in the last 2 years. Give me the statistics again. Tell me what happens when we get to the different things.
Once we get TexitCoin back to $2, right now we're sitting on CoinMarketCap at 1,128. Remember, before Bobby got us verified on CoinMarketCap, we were sitting at like ranked number 7,000 or something.
Yeah.
He got us with CoinMarketCap verified, and now we're ranked at about 1,128, something like that. That's because we're sitting at 10 or. Once we get back to $2 TexitCoin, that will put us ranked 140. A $3 TexitCoin will get us ranked a number 111. A $4 TexitCoin puts us at number 99. We are a top 100 crypto coin at that point. A $5 TexitCoin puts us at number like 86 or 87. It puts us right above Trump coin.
The official Trump.
Yep.
We need to beat 405 million, and then we are above the official Trump.
Yep.
That is something I think that's incredibly realistic, incredibly achievable. You know, what do they say about goals? You want them to be real, you want them to be written down, you want them to be achievable. You know, let's shoot for the moon, and if we miss, we land somewhere amongst the stars. And wouldn't that be a story to tell? Yeah, everybody thought we were dead, and all of a sudden, nowhere, we beat the TSSB. We launched the largest crypto payment gateway in the industry. We got onto one of the largest exchanges in the world, and we ended up, you know, landing about halfway down page 1. So that's the plan. That's the answer to the question of what's the deal with the price, bro, and when will we see some movement? So, you know, look, if you're tuned in and you're hanging in there with us, thank you very much. If you're getting bored or impatient, sorry to disappoint you, but this was never supposed to be a get rich quick scheme. You know, it takes time to put roots down nice and deep. This is not a meme coin. It's not something that we have influencers out there pumping. We've got plenty of money for it. I told you guys last week how much money we've got. I can hire the biggest of the biggest influencers anytime I want. Except that's not the plan. How about we do something real for a change in the industry? How about we actually give the industry real utility? How about we pick up where Satoshi left off and make Bitcoin TexitCoin a real layer 1 digital decentralized peer-to-peer currency? How about we do that? Everybody else seems to have forgotten. We didn't forget. And how about we make it so that when this thing takes off, individuals win, not the banks? It takes time to do that. It's not overnight. It takes time because people aren't really listening to that yet. We have to show them why they need to listen. Bro, AI, bro, robotics. That's the future. The future. A future that you're not going to have if you don't fix the money. You don't fix the money now, you're debt slaves forever. Crypto.
Can I share something?
Bitcoin gave us a real shot.
Yeah.
And you squandered it.
Sorry.
I keep doing these uncomfortable pauses. These dramatic pauses. Me like a cue.
Here's the conversation piece. You know, I don't want to interrupt you, but that's one of the things when you originally talked on this call at the very beginning about the noise that's out there. I remember when to go in 2049 last year, and we were going through and we set up, taking me around. You're like, hey, let me walk you around and let's check out all this different crypto space and all the Web3 and all this stuff. And we started to talk to a few people, and they start, you know, telling us what their project is about and what they're doing. And when we get done, Bobby looks at me and he says, did you understand that? And I'm like, no, I have no idea what. He goes, this is what all the noise is. We did that to 3 or 4 different people. I have no idea what it was about. What we're trying to do is pick up where Bitcoin left off. And when I sat down before I got started, and, you know, I took a chance, I took a gamble, I threw some money in the very beginning in January of 2025. I had no idea what this was about. Then I started to pay attention about the community, and I got a chance to go have coffee with you like every Thursday. And you started to share exactly what we're doing right now is what you were sharing with me in February of 2025. You said, we have a money problem. That's the issue. That's my mission. That's my passion. And I started to wrap my mind around it because that's exactly what I had dealt with in the retail business, was these credit card fees that were strangling us. That was a huge amount of money at the end of the bottom line at every quarter or every month, every quarter, and every year that we were hitting. And this right here is our chance at fixing and disrupting the credit card industry. That's what I was passionate about getting involved. And we're here. We're finally ready to do it.
Now, look, when we say disrupting, remember when we started TexitCoin, we weren't here as the Bitcoin killers. You know, we're not here to like displace them as number one. We're here to take our spot in the top 10. The top 10 is a very reasonable place for us to be. There are plenty of names in the top 10 that don't belong to be there, don't belong there. And, you know, so look, if I came on to these social media forums, I said, we're the next number one Bitcoin, people would be like, yeah, you got a long way to go. I don't think it's impossible, but I do want to make sure everyone understands that when we say disrupt Bitcoin, crypto, disrupt, credit card industry, we're not talking about doing 900 million transactions a day. We're talking about doing enough transactions so that people take us seriously, so that people have an option and an alternative. You know, honest money needs options. It needs competition in the marketplace. What happened was the crypto industry skipped over the rails. They said, well, we'll just work with Visa, MasterCard when the time is right. We'll put a debit card program together that goes through Visa because they've already got the rails. Well, we're not disrupting anything. If we're paying that same 2-3% to the Visa, MasterCard rails overlords, we didn't accomplish anything. Now we've got the worst of both worlds. We've got, crypto gatekeepers, and we've got, 2-3% getting skimmed off the top of every transaction going to the banks. Why do the banks have the biggest buildings in every town? Because they take a little cut. It doesn't matter if you're profitable, if you're underwater, if you're in the red or in the black, it does not matter. They get paid first. And businesses are now going to the point where they're refusing cash. Not because they love that 2-3% fee, but because they like the convenience. And crypto skipped right over that part. They said, it's too much work. We got other shiny things. Look, we've got meme coins. Look, we've got NFTs. We've got ICOs. Look at all this other fun stuff we can do with crypto. We don't need to worry about the money thing. The banks already have that. We don't need to mess around with it. They skipped that part. And we said, whoa. As long as the banks and the credit card companies control the relationship between the merchant and the consumer, we don't have it. And they've spent years and billions of dollars making it so easy, so transparent. All you do is walk in, tap to pay. You don't even think about it. The merchant doesn't worry about it. The consumer doesn't worry about it. You click, it happens in seconds. It's done. The user experience is so seamless. That's what we're up against. And if I've got an American Express card or some sort of rewards card, I get a benefit. There's an incentive for me to use that seamless experience. If I get an incentive to use that and the experience is so seamless, where are they making their money? Well, they're obviously making a lot of money. They're not struggling. So we must be the product. They're giving us a rebate for that. They're charging the merchant and we're the product. And it's our debt-based money system that is what they're earning fortunes off of by lending us our own money at interest. Wild stuff when you go down that what is money as debt rabbit hole. We won't get into it tonight. But we have to stop. We got to replace those rails. We got to give crypto a real chance on the countertop. And that's the part that the crypto bros missed out on. So that when you walk around those events and those conferences and you hear people talking about, oh, we've got an on-ramp, oh, we've got an off-ramp, great. You're going through traditional banking and finance rails. And we have everything that we need in our pockets right now to replace those rails. Why aren't we doing it? Who's out there doing it? It's not BitPay. They're not doing it. So we researched the competition when we realized what we've got with this tech, with this hardware and with this tech. And we said, man, I can't believe no one's doing this. And nothing can be sweeter than keeping all of your money, not having some gatekeeper standing between you and your cash. And so I said, we got a real product here.
And so what I want to do tonight, as we are already an hour into our call, what I want to do tonight is a quick onboarding process. And I'm going to go through a quick onboarding process to show you, first of all, how it works. Second of all, the fact that it does work, how easy and seamless it is. And I think I'm probably going to have to use an incognito window while I do this because I'm already kind of logged in. Let me share a different window with you guys. Hold on one second here. Stop screen, present a new screen, share screen. First time using this. Let's see if it works. Let's try to share this screen. I think I've got this screen share. Okay, good. So, so I want to run through this and show you how it works. I want to show you why it works, but I want to kind of point out a couple key features along the way because it does work. It's awesome. It's flawless. And the last piece, there are two last pieces of the puzzle that I'm going to show you. One is a coin, and two is the merchant terminal. Now, remember, the way that we win with this project, the way that we win is with user experience and with incentive. And that's the reason that no one else has been able to do this so far. The reason that no one has been able to successfully get a large scale merchant service crypto payment gateway solution installed, mass market rolled out is because they don't understand the user experience and they don't understand incentive. And you have to have both of those things in order for this to actually be something that merchants want to have on their countertop. So we're working on both of those things, and we've made a lot of progress, and we're waiting now for our cold storage coins and for our first 1,200 terminals to arrive so that we can complete this thing and make it so easy that a merchant goes, yeah, that was pretty painless. I don't understand anything about crypto. I would love to have people in here paying me in crypto. I don't want to know anything about crypto. Can you make it so easy for me to accept crypto that I don't even have to think about it? I just tap a couple buttons and the money shows up in my account. Can you do that for me? Great. Spectacular. Tim, as I kind of get myself organized here, do you want to take a minute and just review what's in it for the merchant? Why would a merchant be interested in engaging this thing that's a little bit new, a little bit different, a little bit uncomfortable?
Sure, absolutely. So the cost of the machine, we're selling these for $4.99. It's a one-time fee, and then they own the machine. And then there's a $19 a month subscription, and that allows a merchant to charge as many times as they want on this machine. And remember, every time they charge on this machine, they get to keep 100% of the money. So the total cost for the year for a merchant or a business to try this out is $727 for the year.
That's great, but what do they get? What's the benefit? Yep. Tell me why they're going to do it.
Yep, I was getting to that. Yeah,
we're at an hour and 3 minutes, man. People have got pies in the microwave, man. They got dinner to get to. What's in it for the merchant?
Two things that we're going to do for them. One, we're going to show them how they can reduce their credit card fees that they're already doing with their existing. Two, we're going to help them grow their business. So there's 5 main things that we're going to do for them. Number one, every time they right now currently use their credit card machine, they get hit with a 2 to 3% credit card fee. Every time they run it on this machine, they get to keep 100% of the money. Every time they use their
easy done.
Every time they use their credit card machine right now, it takes them $24 to $48 to get the batch settlement for that money to hit their business bank account. Every time they swipe and use the Nectar Pay machine, they get the money immediately. It is deposited.
Love it.
Number 3, every time that they run their credit card machine right now, it opens them up to chargebacks. The credit card companies can reach their dirty little fingers in and take money out. Every time they run it on this machine, there is no chargebacks. If they want to, if
chargeback risk is gone.
If they
and I don't know about you guys, but that's a bigger problem than most people would consider. People look at their bank statement or their credit card statement at the end of the month. They got bills to pay. They go, chargeback, and now I'm paying rent.
Yep. Number four benefit is we're going to help them do a rewards program in a box. If they already have a rewards program, we're going to help them do it on steroids. It's going to be gamified. It's going to be all run. It's going to be super easy for them to do it. And then number five, we're going to drive business to them. That's where we're helping them grow their business. And that's through Crypto Pop. That's where we've married the two products.
All right, hold off on that. Hold off on number five. And number five is where this whole thing comes together. But don't get too far into number five just yet.
Okay.
Because I want to run through how simple it is to onboard. And you can onboard right now. You don't need the terminal right now to onboard. You can onboard right now. So if you want to try this at home while we're going through and doing this, you can make it happen, right? Number one. Number two, remember, there's a couple pieces to the puzzle that are not done yet. Now, we're going to show you how to bypass those pieces of the puzzle, because if you're a small business, you can start taking credit cards right now. You don't know how easy it is. We're going to show you how easy it is. All right. So, and again, Tim, thanks for the overview of the merchant benefits. We're going to come back to number five, but real quick. Number one, no fees. Number two, no chargebacks. Number three, instant settlement. Number four, you get a rewards loyalty program right out of the box, which is a really big thing. You know, the cost to like get a new customer is immense. It is less expensive to keep an existing customer than it is to go out and get a new customer. So if you can increase the likelihood of getting a return customer because they've got a gamified experience now that gives them an incentive to keep coming back over and over, they will drive past a competitor or two or three to get to you for that benefit. And so don't shrug that off either. There are lots of benefits across the board on all that stuff. But I want to show you guys how fast the process is. Step one, and look, I haven't done this in a couple of days, so forgive me if I get my process wrong. Write it down, and then I'll make a real video about how to become a Nectar Pay merchant. But click on the Start for Free button, and we're going to log in. Now, there's a different onboarding process through the POS terminal. And so you can get to the same process either way, either by clicking on Join Now or by going through kind of the terminal-driven process. And I'm going to shrink my screen down to be, phone kind of orientation here. And you can sign in with a Google account, with an email account, or with a TXC wallet, which is kind of a cool high-tech thing. But let's do Bobby at, let's see, I need a new email address here. Bobby at fair.money. Let's do that one. So let's do email. It's going to send me a magic link. I'm going to check my email inbox, and I'm going to get this magic link. And there it is. And I'm going to copy this code. It also gives me a QR code that I could scan if I was using the terminal. So I put in my code. I'm signed in. What's my business name? My business name is Floating Office SG. I'm in Singapore. And there you go. Link my wallet. Open Beekeeper money on your phone and scan this QR. We'll auto import XPubs for every supported chain. All right. So this is really where it starts to get fun. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pause for a moment and go over and get our Beekeeper account set up. And this is where you hit really the first snag. The snag is that the Beekeeper account is designed to work exclusively with your cold storage coin. Okay. We're going to pause on this for a second and really take a moment to understand this, because the why matters. First of all, if we begin introducing merchants to crypto and we say non-custodial, they're going to forget passwords and they're going to lose their keys. They're going to drop their phone in the toilet, and the next day they're going to go, hey, can you help me reset it? I lost my phone and I just need to get back in. And we're going to go, you didn't make a backup? You lost your phone? Oh, dude, it's gone. Well, I can just walk down to the branch, right, and reset it or get all my money back. No. That's not how it works with crypto. So with crypto, we have to make it not just seamless and easy to do, but we have to make it reliable. And so we're going to start every relationship with every merchant with a physical cold storage coin. And what the physical cold storage coin gives them is a live, real-time backup of their wallet. Okay, so we say link your Nectar Pay with your Beekeeper. Your Beekeeper wallet is going to hold your funds. Now, the other thing that this does as we introduce it to the merchant is we say, look, this is your wallet. It's not our wallet. It's going to come with a sticker on the back of it, like all the other cold storage coins do, which they're the easiest, most reliable way of keeping crypto safe offline where it can't get hacked and won't go out of business. But this is your wallet. So we give them a wallet. We say, this is your wallet. It hasn't been tampered with. There's a sticker on the back of it. It's brand new. This is your wallet. These are your funds. You're going to hold them. Okay. Now, what we need you to do is we need you to set up your Beekeeper wallet. And in order to set up the Beekeeper wallet, you have to scan the copper coin, the code that's on the back of the copper coin. You got to scan it. All right. Well, in order to do that, I might kill my camera here. Oh, I got two of me. So in order to do that, you need to have the physical coin. Now, there's a way around it. Don't have one yet? You can get one, or really know what you're doing, get some words. Remember we talked about words earlier? So we click on the Get Some Words button, and it takes us over to the seed builder. So let's build a 24-word seed here, and then let's make a QR code of that so that we can trick Beekeeper into letting us on board. All right. So again, we're going to have a cold storage coin with 24 words on it. These are not my words. You can take a picture of this if you want, internet. We won't be using this wallet, but I took a picture of it with my phone. So that way I can come back to the Beekeeper onboarding. I can pull up that image and I can say, scan my copper coin, and I trick it into using this as my copper coin. Okay, so we're bypassing that very important security feature. And as soon as we do that, it says acknowledge the rules. These 4 rules keep your funds safe. Read each one. Number 1, I understand my copper coin is my only backup. If I lose it, my account is gone forever. I will keep my copper coin safe. Anyone who finds it has unlimited access to my funds. I will store it in a safe or a safe deposit box. Number 3, I will never share my copper coin. No support agent, no app, no website will ever ask me to scan it elsewhere. It is for me only. And number 4, I understand this wallet is non-custodial. No one, not Nectar Pay, not the Hive, can recover my funds or reverse a transaction. So you got to check off on those 4 important things. And again, remember, this is designed to be done on a mobile device. I agree, and let's continue. Let's put a password in here. And we create the wallet. Okay, the wallet's ready. Last step, link it to Nectar Pay. Okay, so this is where we go back to the work that we're doing with Nectar Pay. We've got 42 seconds to finish this. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Now remember, you're going to be physically holding your point of sale terminal in hand and your phone in hand at the merchant onboarding experience. So we're not going to have to worry about bouncing back and forth here. But let me scan this. I got 28 seconds to go back over to Beekeeper. Let's scan the Nectar Pay QR code, start the camera, and there's my Nectar Pay account. And now what this is doing is it's giving Nectar Pay all of my watch-only extended public keys. Okay, let's approve it and let's link it before we're out of time. Linked 7 chains to floating office SG. And that's it. We're done. Open my wallet. Here's where my balances will show up from the funds that arrive through my Nectar Pay account. So remember, we're on a point of sale terminal over here. This is imagine that you're doing this onboarding right now from this terminal, from a Chrome browser or an app inside of this terminal. The wallet's linked. Now, enable standard payment stablecoin settings. We'll turn on USDC, USDT, and PYUSD on the EVM chains, Ethereum, Base, BSC, and Polygon, plus USDT on TRC20. You'll get more complex later when you're ready. So let's enable the standard settings. And now we're done. Click on continue. We can put some terminal defaults in here. Do we want to show or not show tipping? Do we want to add sales tax? Texas rate is 8.25%. Do we want a signature capture? Do we want to do the receipt? Do we need a PIN code? Do we want to work on refunds on the terminal? Now we want to use this device as our terminal. It pairs it with our account. And guess what? That's it.
Ready to charge. Yep.
Now, if you really like tonight's presentation and you want to send me $1, well, let's do it like this. Let's send me $5, right? Let's do that. No tip. You don't need to give me a tip. We can charge $5. Let's do USDC on Ethereum or Base or BSC. And there you go. Now I want you guys to count it down with me. I'm going to do it from my phone unless some clever person out there does it faster. But I'm going to do it here on my phone.
And we're going to count it down to see exactly how long it takes for this transaction to go through. So I'm going to send USDC. I'm going to do it on Base because Base is super quick. I go and I click my camera scan button. Got my address. It even put the amount in there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm sending USDC on Base, and I want you to count it down with me, right? So confirm and send. It is sending. It's done. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds.
Yep.
I sign it, and I'm done.
That's pretty
And
cool.
that's it. 4 seconds. Guys, that's user experience flawless. 4 seconds from me authorizing and completing the transaction on my wallet to having it show up on the merchant terminal and a signature is taken. That's it. The end. And that's what we've put together. That's what I've been working on. Making real tools to give the crypto industry real utility. Now, look, we're at an hour 16, man. Maybe we want to pause here and get into crypto pop on our next call, because the crypto pop thing is a really, really big deal. I stopped you when you were talking about the 5th benefit for the business owner, the new business. This is my forte.
Yeah.
This is what I know how to do. This is what put me on the map 15 years ago. And this is what got me into this whole conversation in the first place back in 1999, when a guy from a company called iTex wandered into my office and said, "Hey, would you like me to bring you new customers that you've never seen before that doesn't cost you anything whatsoever?" Sure. What's the catch? They're going to pay you in iTex barter bucks. Beautiful, beautiful concept, beautiful, beautiful results, terrible, execution and fees. But it opened my eyes up to the world of alternative currencies and barter. I took that knowledge and I built it into what I created with the American Open Currency Standard and the work that I did with the Liberty Dollar. That was 2008. Then I discovered crypto and these powerful tools that let us do so much more, so much bigger, so much faster without having to worry about the physical gold and silver medallions slowing us down. And so crypto pop is now the force, the marketing engine that drives customers into these merchants and businesses that are accepting crypto. Hey, I can shop here and pay with cash, or I can shop there and pay with crypto. I can get rewards. We're going to talk about that next week because I think it's too much for us to get into tonight. But I want to come back.
It's exciting for sure. So
I want to talk more about the kind of sales plan that we've got for Nectar Pay.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
we've got 1,200 of these terminals landing in the US sometime in the next 3-4 weeks. I want every single one of them sold. I want every single one of them deployed. I want to be in 1,200 businesses a day after these things land in the States. Okay, maybe a couple days for shipping or for coordinating appointments and all that stuff. But I want to go, man. If we're going to show up in court in Austin mid-August, I would love to go into court and be like, yeah, we're now the largest crypto payment processor in the world. Yeah, we did that while you guys were preparing for shutting us down in court. We just became the largest crypto payment gateway provider with no fees, by the way. That's the whole other thing that we really didn't get into. The money settles out directly to that wallet. It's there on that wallet because we don't touch the keys. The money goes directly to that wallet. But I got 1,200 terminals and I need your help. And Tim, I'm pointing both at you and I'm pointing at the people watching, because there's no downside to taking crypto as a payment. No fees, no chargebacks, instant settlement to your wallet. It's done. You can do it right now. There's no downside to it. Be careful. Be careful if you're setting up, if you're tricking the system with your own 24 words, be careful. But you can do it right now. And I want you to do it right now. I want you to get started. It doesn't cost anything to get it set up. But I want these 1,200 terminals to find homes. How are we doing that, man? What's the sales plan? Tell me we got a plan.
This is
Yeah.
right up your alley. Tell me what our sales
It is.
plan is and
That's what I've
why
been-
we think we can pull it off.
Yeah, so we're getting there. So I'm at a sales targeting these 5 major markets. We have a ton of community already in. That's the crypto pop piece that we'll be talking about next week. But what you can do, we time and time again, we get people from our community that are, well, what can we do to help? What can we do to get the price of TexitCoin going back in the right directions? Well, now you have an opportunity to help us being placing these with businesses in your city. And you start in the places where you already like to go and shop and do business already. So I'm going to run down. Then I'm going to tell you how you guys can get one of these yourself, a kit, so that you can go around sharing this with others. So some of the target markets, what we're looking at, credit card fee paying companies, independently and locally owned companies. That way, when you're going in there and you're approaching these people, the owners are typically there. High foot traffic or repeat customers, these are places that would be a major benefit. So these are kind of the target markets that we looked at. We're looking for a quick sales cycle. I know this. I know exactly how to pitch this. We're going to go over a quick little 5-minute pitch with you. But it's going to be pretty hard pressed for businesses to tell me no, because it just makes sense. It really does. It's a very easy win-win scenario. But we're going to be targeting coffee shops, cafes, bakeries, restaurants, food trucks, casual dining. You know, these places are high volume, low cost items. We can do the freebie coupons that we're going to be offering to our crypto pop people, bars, breweries, juice bars, retail stores, especially like health and food, books, gifts, vape and CBD, apparel stores, personal services like hair salons, barbers, massage, tattoo shops, any service related businesses like that, auto repair, mechanics, car washes. These are all big ticket items, very cash heavy. People are collecting all the cash. They don't have anything to do with it. They don't know what to do. They don't want to. Gyms, fitness studios, yoga, martial arts, any monthly membership places where, you know, these are perfect, where we can get day passes to offer to our community to drive in there. Farmers market, artisan vintage. These are sales sites where we're going to get viable results. What I'm working on doing to help this grow really quick is we're going to sign up 4 or 5 pilot businesses right here in the DFW area, and we're going to drive our people in there to show the success, and then we're going to get some testimonials from these businesses. So what did you think when I first approached you? What do you think now? What do you like about it? Do you see the benefit? Was it easy to use? There'll be video testimonials that we'll be able to place on our website, which is going to help you guys share this with other business owners in your neck of the woods. So think about those list of those target market businesses, and think about your market. Where would you go to share this? And so what we're going to do, guys, so again, we sell the machines for $4.99 one-time fee. Then they own the machine, a $19 a month subscription fee. What we're going to do is we're going to have an ambassador kit that we're going to sell for $250 to TexitCoin and Gander miners. So if you're on the miner, $250 is going to get you your ambassador kit. It'll get you one of these machines. It'll get you your cold storage coin. You'll have a one laminated, and it'll list off all the benefits of what a merchant gets for doing this. And then on the back side, it'll have the cost, the $4.99, the monthly subscription, and there'll be a barter option. We'll talk about the barter option next week when we're talking about the crypto pop and why it's so important. But all that'll be listed out there. We're going to do the 5-minute pitch. We're going to have trainings on this. And this is going to allow you guys to feel comfortable about walking into a business and sharing this with them. There is a commission structure and incentive for you to do this for us. So obviously, you know, we're saying, hey, people were asking, you know, what can I do to help raise the price of TexitCoin? Well, sharing this with businesses is going to help us. Once that happens and we get the utility in place, that's what drives the price of TexitCoin back up. Everybody that is taking a chance that's a TexitCoin from this, from the utility of this. So, but we're also going to do a little incentive or commission program for you. So we've got two options that we've kind of talked about, Bobby, and I'll just kind of run down that real quick. Option number one, if you see yourself as a go-getter, that's somebody that's going to offer this to businesses, you can buy a 10-pack of these machines. Okay. We're going to sell these machines in a 10-pack for $350. That way, when you offer it to the businesses, then you can sell it to the businesses for $4.99 and the monthly subscription. So you make it immediately $150 for every business that signs up that does this for you. Plus, you're going to get a 20 of the first year's monthly dues, which comes out to about $45. So you make about $196 for every business that you sign up, and you're helping the project.
Yep.
If you don't buy 10 machines out front, we understand we're also allowing people to go out there and to be able to demo this. So we're selling a demo kit, an ambassador kit for $250 to get you the whole kit, and then you get to get started. And for every business that you sign up, from 1 to 5 businesses, you get a $50 reward. You get a $50 commission. From 6 to 10, you get $75 for everyone. From the next 5, you're going to get, from 11 to 15, you're going to get $100. And then after that, every merchant that signs up, you're up to that $150 rate. My goal is to get 5 people that are passionate about helping us out. And I'm going to show them how they can sign up 20 businesses. So we get 500 people to sign up 20 businesses, Bobby. That's going to get us to 10,000 merchants. That's my goal, guys, over the next 3 months, is to get 10,000 merchants that are using this in the next 3 to 4 months. And then we're going to take that yearly subscription that we're talking about. That gets paid out in TXC. That's the utility that helps grow the price. 10,000 businesses over the next 3 to 4 months, the yearly subscription, that's like 2.2 million utility ad buy orders on the open market. Bobby, what do you think that'd do to the price?
Oh, I know what it'll do to the price. I'm scared of what it'll do to the price.
Yep. Right now, our market, you know, when you look at the 24-hour volume that we're doing on all these markets, it's all just speculative. It's people that are going selling because they need the money, or buying because they believe the price is going to go up. When we start adding utility ad buy orders on that market, this thing is going to take off. This is where it's always been, and what you've always talked about to me. Once we get this utility going, that's the difference between something here today and gone tomorrow, and something that's built to last.
That's
and again,
exactly right.
First utility vertical that we're doing. We've got 9 other. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of at least 10, maybe a dozen things that's in our wheelhouse now that's just kind of appeared on our map, in our, you know, this developing picture, this developing honest money ecosystem, as I've been calling it lately. Tim, thanks for the overview on that. Look, guys, this is all very brand new. If you read down the TexitCoin Zoom page a little bit, you see that we share stuff with you right away. We don't gatekeep. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but we want you to have all the information so that you can make the best decisions possible. So we'll finally tune this. We'll get it polished. We've got some really cool, great stuff coming out from the media crew with Corey. So rest assured, this is very early stage right now. And like I said, we don't have the cold storage coins yet. That's an important thing for the merchants so that their funds are, you know, in hand and safe. But right now you can go. What's up?
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to tell people how they can reach out to sign up to do something.
Look, if you're a ISCAN or IDMC member, or you're a TexitCoin miner, you've got access to your first kit. We want every one of you to have this so you can show it off. I showed you how easy it is. It is literally that easy. I want you to have a terminal in hand. I've got like 20 of these things right now. You can go to the website. You can buy one of the 20. Get one before they're gone. It's 3-4 weeks until the next batch of 1,000 show up. But I want everyone in our community to grab one of these things and to help us get these things going. You'll see next week how it connects with TXC through CryptoPop. There's a lot going on there, more than what Tim mentioned a minute ago with just the merchants needing to purchase TXC in order to pay the monthly fee. There's so much more that runs on the L2. It all works as well. It's perfect. It works. But we'll cover that more next week. For this week, I want every TexitCoin miner, every IDMC member to go get your welcome kit. It's $250. That way you have something to show somebody. You can put it in your hands. You can run through the onboarding process the same way that I did. You can get it right now. You can pay for it in crypto through the website using our gateway, see that it works. And then I want you to start thinking about those 5, 10, 20 businesses that we can onboard. Remember, we have to sell them the terminal. That's our biggest challenge in this sales process, because we're not going to make any money on the back end. We have to make our money one time in the beginning. We make that through the sale of hardware. We make a profit on there, and you'll make a profit on there as well. But we really want you to have a terminal in hand to be able to onboard a merchant real time. If you can do it with them, here's your coin, here's your terminal, let's go through the process. It takes 5 minutes to get you set up. Then you get to be their first customer. You do the first transaction with them, you put a couple dollars, you pay for that cup of coffee with crypto, and now they see it. Then that's when we hand them off to Crypto Pop. We'll talk more about the 5 target markets: Southern California, Denver, Salt Lake, Dallas, and Nashville. And this is where we're really focusing, not just in merchant acquisition, but in driving customers out to support those businesses. I like to vote with my wallet. If I see that there's a merchant out there that's willing to accept honest money, accountable money, I'm going to go out of my way to support that business. If they've got a terminal there and it's easy for me to do, and I'm working on the tap to pay, I'm working on that. These things are all NFC. I'm working on making it so that you can tap to pay with your phone or with a card. If we can make the experience comfortable and we can give them some incentive to go out there and support those business owners, it will work. It'll work because people want honest money. They know that the system is broken. They want something better. They just need it to be easy and accessible. That's your job. We got 50,000 people in this community. If we didn't have that, it would take us years. It would take us years to get to where we want to go with this thing. But we've got you, and you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for real utility, real purpose that's born out of our ecosystem. I'll show you next week how the dots connect between TexitCoin, the Honest Money ecosystem, and Nectar Pay. They're there. They're not imaginary. They're very, very real, because the greatest thing that we can do for the merchants that shell out the cash to buy this and pay the money to join the yearly membership fee is we can help them get so much business that they never even noticed the money that they had to put out for the terminal. That's our real goal. Our goal is to make it so that they've got an ROI inside of 30 days. If we can send 100 new customers into that shop just because they started accepting crypto, then we've got an ROI for them. We've got an ROI for the salespeople that are out there to grow it, the affiliates that are helping create those leads that the sales guys are closing, for us to continue to do the work that we're doing. I mean, look at what's happened just in the last couple of days. Look at what happened right now. I was paying $2,800 a month of our community money for a Zoom webinar membership that we now don't need because of this tech. I was paying $6,000 a month for our market maker service that we now don't need because of this tech. All of these things help our resources grow, give us more funds to go out there and do our work, to share our story, and to help the crypto community eventually. It's not an overnight process, but we're going to show the crypto community what they missed. They skipped a chapter early on. They forgot to get people actually using good money. They didn't know how to do it. I can't blame them. I don't fault them. I'm the guy that actually knows how to do it. I'm teaching our team. We're putting tools on countertops in merchants across the country. Focus on those 5 target markets first. You can take crypto anywhere and there's going to be a benefit for you. But if you're in Southern California, Nashville, Denver, Dallas, or Salt Lake, we've got the Crypto Pop marketing initiative that's really where the rubber hits the road. And so if you're tuned in here, you're listening to this, you're cheering for us, thank you. Thanks for the patience. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the kindness. Thanks for the support. I told you back in the beginning I was going to ask you for money one time. I'm now asking you for money again. I'm asking you to buy a terminal so that you can have it in hand and go out and show small businesses how they get to eliminate credit card fees, how they get to eliminate chargeback risk, how they get instant settlement, how they get a reward program out of the box. And if you're in one of those 5 target markets, how we're going to put our Crypto Pop army to work to support your small business. It's $250 for your first one. If you're not in our community and you want to pick up one, it's $250. I'm not gatekeeping. Go grab the demo model. I got 20 of them right now. As soon as those 20 are gone, I'll add the next 1,000, which are going to be on a 3 to 4 week back order for production right now. But guys, our goal, our sights are set on being number one in the crypto payment gateway service provider. Non-custodial, no fee. We're going for number one, and it is not a joke. This was never a joke. We were serious about this from day one. We've had plenty of ups and downs. We went through our first cycle. We went through our first regulatory spotlight. We're still here. We're still working harder than ever. We're producing better quality stuff than we've ever done before. And if you're not convinced that this is a real project, you're on the wrong call. It does not get any better than this. And this is me asking you now for help. Go get a terminal. Go pick up one. I got 20 of them in stock. They're $250. Have it in hand. It works for you. It works for your home-based business. You can demo it and show merchants how they can get a benefit from it. There's money in it for you. There's money in it for the merchant. There's money in it for us. And it's this exchange of money inside of our community that has helped us to grow to $150 million, 50,000 plus people in our community, 2+ years of staying power. And every time we come up with something like this, we extend our life and we increase the chances of our success. And now I'm asking for your help. So go grab a terminal, test out the payment gateway. Let me know if there are any bugs. There might be a bug. I don't know. It's brand new. We haven't done a transaction on it yet. I've done tests. But do it. If you've been waiting patiently for a real place for you to fit into the ecosystem, it's here for you right now. Everyone out there knows a small business owner. Everyone gets their nails done somewhere, has a beer somewhere, grabs coffee somewhere, or a slice of pizza somewhere, or gets a massage done. Whatever it is, honest money can help every single one of those people. No fees, no chargebacks, instant settlement, reward program out of a box. We'll talk more about that next week. And we have the Crypto Pop community coming together to create an incentive for us to go out of our way to support the merchants in the Nectar Pay community. That's how we win. User experience and incentive. That's what we're focusing on. We know exactly what we need to do in order to win. And it's now the tech is here in our hands to make all this possible. Happy July 4th, everybody. Happy 250th birthday. Tim, I was just admiring that you and I both have barbecue grills in our backgrounds. That's how Texan we are. You can see my barbecue grill, and I can see yours. And that's America. That's America for you.
Bobby, I've had 2 people text me say that they want one of the kits. Show it again real quick. And then they can also email me at tim@blockchainmint.com. So you can go right on this website that he's showing you right here, the Blockchain Mint website. You can add and get your kit right there. Or if you have other questions about this, you can always email me at tim@blockchain.com and I'll get with you. This is exciting time, guys.
It really is exciting. I was just going to say that. We've waited a long time for this moment. We waited a long time for the tech. We've invested way too much money in getting and trying to get the tech. And now we've got it. And it works. And you just saw it. You just saw it real time. If you're questioning or doubtful, buy a terminal, go through it in person. It works. And get ready, guys, because I got 1,000 terminals hitting the US. I got 200 coming here to Singapore. We've got 5 markets in the US and 1 here in Singapore that we're lighting up. It is game time. We have the ability to go from brand new to largest processor in the industry overnight. You do that with me, we hand it off to the PR team, we win in Texas, we become number 1, and we go live on a giant exchange, and we're on the top 100. Is that guaranteed? No. But if you have a better plan to get yourself and TexitCoin onto the top 100, then I'd love to hear it. Utility, purpose. That's how we get there, and that's how we stay there. And we've got more stuff coming, guys. Everything we've talked about already is still in the works, and nothing's changed. We just learn as we go. We make small adjustments to course correct based on the things that we're learning. We're learning about MSBs, money service business licenses. We're learning about all kinds of stuff. And we've got a product now that has the ability to win. Join us and let's win together. I'm Bobby Gray. That's Tim Blake. We're the guys that are working hard every single day, day in, day out for our mutual success. We'd love to have you on the team. If you're already a miner, thank you. If you're not yet a miner, join iskandernetwork.com. Go check it out. Pretty cool. It brings you into our community. We have a lot of fun. We love making money together. If you're looking at those things and saying, I don't want that, but I'd love to save myself some merchant processing fees and I'd love to eliminate chargeback risk, go buy a terminal. They're $250 right now. Sooner or later, you won't be able to buy them for that price. They'll be $500, but pick them up and let's become the largest crypto payment gateway service provider in the industry in the next 30 days. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for putting up with our little technical difficulties here. It's a really great thing to be able to share this through so many forums, and we're looking at improving the quality of our presentation as we get better. Have a great night. Happy 4th of July, guys. Please be safe. Have fun. And I wish I was there to enjoy it with you, but soon. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, guys.